Ah, c'est bon les gars, on y est. N'hésitez pas à me dire les gars si jamais le son est pas assez fort. Oh, un rayon du Seigneur. Ouais, mais ça, c'est un cauchemar.
They've shown me a vision I can't shake. New cabal, the Barrent Imperium, sprung up out of nowhere across the system. That doesn't just happen. It's the Nine, and I'm putting together a crew to prove it.
Aïe, 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 aïe.
What do you say, weapon?
Vas-y, envoie.
Welcome to the new Mars.
Ah, merci,
The only
merci.
law on Tharsis is the gun on your hip and the light in your hands. You'll do well.
Ah, ils sont forts, hein. Ils sont forts, hein. À chaque fois.
I don't relish doing business with these leeches. But we need to find out what the Dredgen are after.
Ah, lui, par contre, vas-y, il est trop stylé, le méchant, là. Ah, il maîtrise la stase.
It's time to take the fight to the Imperium.
Ah, l'arbalète exo. Regardez-le, Iron Man en haut. Il arrive comme un seigneur. C'est qui Lorraine? Moi j'ai pas trop de rêve les gars de Star Wars, j'ai vu que les 3 premiers films. Ah, il a sorti son meilleur chardon, le vagabond. Ah les gars, c'est où qu'on met la CB? C'est où qu'on met la CB les gars?
Hey everybody, welcome to
C'est où?
Bungie or our cantina today. Without further ado, let's watch a new Vidoc 2.
Vas-y, un vol Vidoc.
Speaking of a Renegade. Take a look.
Vas-y. Oh, c'est pas fini les gars, c'est pas fini le poulet.
Destiny of the Star Wars lens, like this really cool combination that hasn't been done before.
I can't wait to take a Praxic Blade to Mars.
Ouais, ouais, la Praxid Blade, j'ai hâte aussi. Hein.
Stay cool.
Wait, we gotta swat it up and play through. Oh yeah.
Ah, il part loin quand même avec son jetpack. Hein.
Early on, we developed this North Star, authentically Destiny, unmistakably Star Wars. It has to be something that feels like a Destiny story. It can't feel like a one-off. This can't feel like a side quest, right? Like this has to be a continuation of the Fate Saga.
I had this vision. I knew it came from the Nine.
But with Star Wars beats and Star Wars visual.
This was uncharted territory for Lucasfilm Games, and that this is the first time we're telling a story inspired by Star Wars within a different universe.
At the heart of like, I think every Guardian's identity is like this healthy, independent, rebellious streak.
We were excited to actually explore that scoundrel fantasy, bounty hunters, the syndicates going out and doing jobs with a ragtag team. We took inspiration from Star Wars to ensure the scale, visual language, soundtrack, and cinematic storytelling and
Ah, lui il est trop stylé par contre. Elle est éteinte par contre.
have come to expect from the franchise.
The Praxic Blade collaboration stands out to me.
Because lightsabers are so iconic, it was absolutely critical to get that balance.
Ah, j'ai hâte de le tester, le sabre laser. Hein.
So solutions focused. It wasn't, no, it has to be this way. It was a lot of back and forth and asking questions about.
Il y a bien ce délire là, les gars, où tu peux l'envoyer et la rappeler. Hein. Il y a bien ce délire là. Hein.
It was all about like what is best for the player.
When we announced this collaboration with the studio, James may or may not have been wearing a fighter pilot helmet.
Yeah. Destiny and Star Wars.
Ah vas-y les gars, moi je vais être main sabre laser.
This is gonna be special.
We were given
Ça
such
me
a
fume de
huge
voir des
challenge.
Vex avec des
How
vêtements.
can we achieve the aesthetic and the feel of Star Wars without losing the narrative threads that we've created so far for Destiny at the same time?
It wasn't until we found our footing with creating a foundation in Destiny that things started to click together.
I remember the first time that we went down to San Francisco. We had this really big meeting where it was the Destiny narrative folks on one side and the
Eh,
Star Wars
on l'a
narrative folks on the other
reconnu.
side. We broke the ice by just asking, what's the bad version of this? We had a really good laugh over what that looked like. And through that, we kind of uncovered that this should be the aesthetic, the vibe of Star Wars with the truth to Destiny's narrative that we knew needed to be there too. We begin 2 months after the Edge of Fate has happened. The world has moved and changed, and
Ok, c'est
we're
2
still
mois
trying to
après
figure out
la
what Finding the Nine means.
la campagne des confins.
Redacted the prophecy of
On perd pas de
extinction.
temps. Hein.
They don't want the public to panic over this prophecy.
The crux of our story is the Drifter asking us to help him break Vanguard law for good reason to confront a new rising faction of Cabal called the Barren Imperium. It's what drives Eris to help the Drifter out as well as the player Guardian.
When we were thinking about what kinds of characters should be in this release, we thought about the kinds of archetypes we see throughout Star Wars.
Yeah, and Drifter is an easy parallel. He and Han Solo share a cocky attitude, both former criminals.
In Star Wars, there's a plethora of sassy droids. We have our own version of that through Ghosts, and Blue is no exception.
Oh, look. Thanks for nothing.
Blue is a Drifter's ghost, and I think as soon as people hear her, they'll be delighted and incredibly surprised.
Our voice cast is stacked. Dredgen Bale
Ouais, mais
is
attends, mais-
portrayed by Alex Lee, who is
Oh, on l'avait jamais vu le spectre du vagabond là. Il s'est passé quoi?
And we also got
Oh, lui, il est trop
Hollywood
stylé,
actor
par contre.
royalty Danny Houston to play Premier Loom, the head of the Barren Imperium. Being able to work with someone from that kind of IMDb page was such an honor, and I was completely normal the whole time.
Surrender to the Barracks Imperium.
Loom became this sweeping militaristic figure that I think is going to be a really good parallel to Grandma
Lui, ce
Farfan
sera
and
le boss
other
du donjon, les gars.
military leaders from the Empire.
So even though we're introducing
Je sais
new
pas.
characters, we're still looking backwards at some of Destiny lore's most long-standing characters. Honor is another example of that. She's our Praxis
Elle, c'est
warlock.
qui elle?
She's loosely meant to be a parallel to something like a Jedi in Star Wars. She was part of a Vanguard internal affairs group that would police Guardians on the usage of darkness.
Don't make me regret abandoning my post to help you.
Not now, Honor.
Yeah, she has to grow up with the times a little bit because the world has changed and a whole lot of people are using darkness now. And she gets to grow and kind of ask herself, like, am I still adhering to my own values if I allow myself to be open to these kinds of ideas?
The Drifter belongs with us.
The Drifter left your cult long ago.
And then there's Bale, Dredgen Bale.
Dredgen is a dark guardian.
Ah,
represents
yeah, yeah.
absolute darkness.
Dredgen Bale doesn't like the fact that we're ruled by a city of immortals who can't step down and that weren't elected. He's got kind of a point.
Mais du coup,
but
c'est
it's
un-
not
c'est un
for
gardien, le mec, là.
He makes many bad choices.
Il a un spectre? Il est où son spectre?
One of my favorite parts about a lot of villains in Star Wars is that they have just like
Il a un flot de
capability of
zinzin.
making the right choice and then consistently do not make good choices.
Bale is trying to fill a hole in his life in all the wrong ways.
And he just can't, and he never will. But man, we're gonna hope that he does someday.
The time of guardians as shepherds of humanity is over.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il me fait le chasseur là?
This has been an opportunity where you love Destiny, you love Star Wars, you want to do something with both. What are you going to put into it?
Oh my god, it was such a challenge at first, finding that sweet spot of how do we make something that can live in both worlds and not feel out of place in either, but also feel totally new and exciting. It wasn't always about where do we find the exact middle ground, 50-50 Star Wars and Destiny, because at that point, you're feeling almost a little derivative.
There's those moments along the way when we were like, this is just Star Wars. This is not the purpose of the collaboration. We want to have something kind of new that makes you think of both. I remember when we were trying to figure out what
Parle de l'espace social où tu as les différentes guildes.
We started in that place where it's just Cabal wearing a stormtrooper outfit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we injected more of that weird alien design of a lot of these armor sets.
Ah, et maintenant il parle de design des cabales.
From this is too derivative to this is really working. I think it comes through in the visuals in every single map. There are little Easter eggs and little treats here and there that we hit around, and Lucasfilm Games has been awesome at collaborating with us and even putting some of their input onto our maps so we can really give the players something exciting.
The switch flipped in my head like, oh, we would never have done this without this collaboration was the syndicates.
Yeah.
We're going places with the
Les Vex avec des vêtements, ça me termine, les gars, je suis désolé.
We really weren't going to go before.
Oh yeah, and trench coats.
And trench coats, yeah. We have Vex in trench coats that are playing cards. It's so awesome, and I don't think we would have dared do that if we didn't have this opportunity.
No, and it was the perfect time in our universe to do it too. The Star Wars fans on the team just start coming out, telling their stories about what they're excited to build, and far be it from me to get in the way.
We make a lot of weapons in Destiny. How do you take a weapon in Destiny, which we have literal like 4 digits of guns, and
understatement,
right?
Oh, l'arbalète exo.
Something that feels new, but also does justice for Star Wars, and Blaster was really obviously the choice. They're roughly in 2 groups. There's dynamic blasters, which are intended to be harder hitting.
Là, il parle des 2 archétypes, là, des nouvelles armes, là, avec le système de surchauffe.
Brute force. And then we have a number of balance blasters. As you're shooting, and the heat is building up, you're going to have a venting opportunity where you can hit a perfect vent. It's like functionally a reload, so you can start shooting again much faster.
Sweet. I gotta ask though, what about those Cabal blasters? Are they accurate?
What difficulty are you playing on?
Ah, la petite ref à Star Wars. Est-ce qu'ils sont précis les cabales? Comme les Stormtroopers.
We have swords in Destiny.
Je l'ai la ref
We
là.
don't have a praxic sword. We don't have
Ah, vas-y, envoie le sabre laser là.
It's an exotic primary weapon that's kinetic, where you can reflect a bunch of blasts.
Ça renvoie les balles.
Kill enemies with it and throw it out and get a ton of damage.
Mais du coup, tu peux le jeter, c'est ça, tu peux le... Oh là 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 là. Incroyable. Et vas-y, qui farme l'aura, l'arcaniste là.
Exploring this new like ability ecosystem with renegade abilities.
Donc là, il va invoquer un vaisseau là.
So much of this
Ah non, il peut invoquer un shield.
Every corner of the game, from the art, the design, the audio, the music, the UI, the rewards, completely infused with the magic.
Bon, l'arbalète exo, les gars, je vais pas vous mentir, là, c'est un peu osef, hein.
Yeah, super satisfying.
Moi, c'est le sabre, là, j'ai hâte de tester. Vas-y, les OST. Là, si vous regardez bien, les gars, à tout moment, vous pouvez me voir, hein. Je suis caché quelque part.
Good morning, everybody. Didn't mean to wake you up with that beat, sorry.
Oh.
The overarching theme for this was to create a score for this release that felt like it was cohesive as a whole.
Petit OST du Seigneur.
We're all talking to each other and collaborating with each other.
Ah, ils ont cook là, les OST.
Spinning around and looking at you.
Humans have to play this. Jeez.
I hope players get taken on a journey that inspires them and makes them feel like this world is really unique and really special.
My favorite feeling as a creator is getting to watch someone's look of like absolute surprise.
C'est qu'ils ont tous le... Ils ont tous le sabre laser.
Boundless potential that Destiny has and world of possibility that Star Wars unlocked.
I've been waiting so long for this.
Ouais, nous aussi, ça fait longtemps qu'on attend, ouais. Hop.
All right, welcome back to the Cantina. So what you're talking about, the Lawless Frontier. This is our new activity coming with Destiny 2 Renegades.
Et on parlait de l'activité là.
Developers on our couch to talk us through what we're seeing. It'll be a fun.
Vas-y.
So without further ado, let's get some introductions. Eric Smith, we're starting with you.
DMG, Damage 04.
Ah lui il est trop en forme les gars, il m'a réveillé. Ah lui il est chaud comme pique.
You may know me from my work.
Il a réveillé tout le monde.
The design lead on the Strand.
Wow. So
Okay.
What we're seeing on screen right now, we're launching into our Lawless Frontier activity.
Ok, donc là il lance l'activité de la planète.
Let's give a quick description. What is the Lawless Frontier?
So the Lawless Frontier is our core game mode in Renegades. You're going to play through some of the campaign, but it's really what comprises our end game. And the idea is that you're a renegade taking on these shady jobs like bounty hunting, smuggling and sabotage from our syndicates, and you're doing so to
Un cooldown de 30 minutes.
your power and your riches, you know, and of course to get some sweet loot.
Yeah, and when you talk
Du loot sympathique.
bounty hunting, sabotaging, that kind of stuff, those are different types of this activity, right?
Yeah, their bounty hunting is all about taking out a key syndicate boss.
Ah, regardez le sabre laser, les gars.
Blowing the heck out of everything with your renegade abilities, you know, dropping airstrikes on Cabal vehicles, and smuggling is about grabbing everything that isn't, you know, tied down.
Ah là 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 là, c'est tellement smooth quand tu l'envoies là. Allez, bâtard.
So today we're going to be focusing on a bounty hunt, and I believe you said this is kind of like a quintessential Destiny vibe of an activity, right?
Yeah, it's probably the closest to a traditional Destiny activity, but you're going to start in the ready room.
Épée antibarrière? Oui, il y a le logo.
Renegade abilities in there from your little shank buddy that's in there. You'll hop aboard Hawk, and you'll drop down to the destination. You can see we're already in on one of the Mars maps.
Par contre, je suis un peu déçu, elle fait le bruit d'une épée classique quand tu mets des coups.
Two maps on each destination. This is Hellas Fortitude, and right now we're doing a bounty hunt, and we're working to draw out the intel officers to track down where our
Ok, donc ça c'est le sniper lourd. Hein.
this there'll be resurgence of the security forces of that target. They'll have a classic
Le pulse.
boss fight, but with a bunch of wrinkles thrown in for.
Je pense que la couleur, ça sera en fonction de la doctrine. Je pense aussi.
Your abilities, maybe an invader, which we'll talk about later, and then you'll exfil with your bounty and get some loot and take that back to our.
Ils vont peut-être régler le son plus tard. Je sais pas, le DLC sort dans une semaine.
Some of the cool blasters, or maybe some of the cosmetics and customizations for the flexibly we're going to talk about later.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, so as we're going through this, we're going to be seeing a lot of abilities that players know and love on screen, but we have new abilities, Renegade abilities, that are going to be for this activity. And Eric, you're going to be our person of knowledge here.
Yeah.
What do we got on screen?
Yeah, so Renegade abilities is a new ability system we have in Renegade.
Les habilités.
What you do is we have a brand new button for you to press. That's going to be R3 on the
C'est le
controller
truc
and
avec la
Z on the
pièce là.
keyboard. And that's going to kind of switch you into a different mode that gives you new abilities for your grenade and your melee. That sends out one of these tokens. We have here on the screen, you can see we have one called Revitalize that heals you and provides you with ability energy. And then we have the other one, which is the Deflector Shield, which is
Donc là, il y en avait deux différentes. Le shield et après tu avais la zone qui te régénérait, qui te redonnait des HP. Et après, je crois, normalement, t'en as un autre où t'invoques le gros robot, là. Ah, tu peux les améliorer, les compétences, là, de l'activité, là.
Hunter, I'm able to be like, I'm going to build support, right? I'm going to choose these two support.
Ah, je sais pas, c'est une théorie, British, j'en sais rien. Là, l'arca, il est strand, l'épée, elle est verte. Je sais pas.
Has what they need to survive this tough environment. You can also see in this mode we have non-regenerating health. So things like that revitalize Renegade ability are really going to come in handy to be like, we need to take a break and heal. Let's pop over here, to some safety, and anyone can build into that if that's what they want.
Brandy, il parle des brandy.
Yeah, and sorry, so to segue more appropriately, over the last few weeks we've been doing a series of blog articles with y'all on the Sandbox team talking about the core game updates coming to Destiny 2 available to all players. So we have a lot of quality of life changes that are coming to your supers, your subclass abilities, all that kind of stuff.
Ah, ça, il va falloir qu'on aille lire après l'article des capacités là.
Warlock focus was around threadlings, your strand abilities. Yeah, if you want to cover that really quick.
Yeah, so you can see here the Warlock is moving while rifting, which is
c'est à cause de l'exotique.
quality of life upgrade that allows you to dodge attacks, get into cover, close the gap while you're casting your ability. Works really well with the new Warlock exotic as well.
Ah, mais je crois qu'il y a un changement aussi. J'ai pas lu l'article d'hier, les gars.
Article we put out yesterday. Please check it out. There's a lot of buffs. We've shown hunters a lot of love. You know, we love our hunters. We want them to feel powerful.
Yeah, we saw some feedback with the exotic tuning article. Hunters were like, "Sure, wait, I want to see more." Which in the future we will definitely have more. But
quoi, il tire avec le vaisseau là?
There's a lot of exciting hunter stuff that we are working on.
So with the abilities updates for hunters, Golden Gun got a pass?
Yeah, so Golden Gun got a pass, does more damage and now scorches on impact.
Ouais, ça, le pistolet héroïque qui se fait
You had to
boost.
step outside of your well to get full damage. Now you can stay in the well. Outside of that, we saw in the gameplay gunpowder gamble. If you throw it and you shoot it before it explodes naturally, it does more damage, more radius.
On ira lire l'article après, les gars. Et donc là, ils sont à la fin de l'activité.
Sentinel. Yeah, Sentinel Shield. We're excited about this one. So Sentinel Shield is getting a shift a little bit.
A bit of a rework, right?
Yeah, a bit of a rework. The usage rates weren't great, and we want to provide something that is kind of on par with well, as far as like, what am I going to take into a raid to support my team? So in Renegades, your Sentinel Shield, as you're holding it up, your allies behind your shield are going to auto reload, and there's just kind of rhythm to it. So if you can fire at the right time, you can just be like rocket, rocket, rocket. So it is.
C'est quoi ce changement de zinzin?
Damage increase is big. Not only that, but as I guard my enemies and the
Ça, on va aller lire l'article après, les gars, mais.
I'm charging this bar up that charges up my shield throw, and at full charge, that shield throw is going to do Thunder Crash level damage.
Et salut T2. J'ai loupé le début du live. Ah, t'as loupé presque tout le live là. C'est bientôt fini.
It's strong. So, and that's what we want, right? We want to provide that power fantasy to players. I think this era of Destiny is like fun first. You know?
Yeah.
We want players to have a great time and feel
Fun first, les gars, c'est ce qu'ils ont dit. L'amusement en premier. Et oui, j'espère bien. On verra ça mardi prochain.
And Tom, you had mentioned invasions earlier in the stream, and this is going to be our opportunity to show a little bit of that. A little bit of that flavor. We're going to look at some of the UI in the orbit screens and our new holo map, and then we're going to show what it is to be invaded. New optional activity type as well, right?
Yeah.
Ah mais là le donjon, je sais pas si on aura des infos.
You might be familiar with Gambit. This is kind of like a new take on that kind of familiar mechanic here in Renegades, and we want players that kind of take on the role of a bounty hunter working for the syndicates, tracking down these renegades that are messing up their operations, taking out their commanders, stealing their stuff.
Ah ouais.
And so you get to be kind of play on the other side here. You get to play on the opposition. So you're allied with all of the enemy combatants on the field. You can kind of wade in amongst them and pick and choose the strategic moment where you want to kind of like lash out at these players and like steal their bounty.
Yeah.
And
so how do you launch into this?
So here's the holo map, just for everybody. This is kind of our standard interface for the Lawless Frontier. This is how you access the social space, all of our jobs, and then in the end game we unlock the yellow node, which is invasion, and the red node, which is the contested territory. So we can take a look at the contested node here. This is where all every day the syndicates are fighting over one of the maps on each of the planets, and you can kind of, as a defender, kind of throw in your players to the side you want to fight for. But these are also invadable nodes. So one thing I want to highlight is that invasion is opt-in. It's not a requirement. So if players don't want to deal with PvP, they can do like an expert difficulty for this, or they can just go to any of these other nodes on the map here that aren't invadable. But for the priority, the contested node on the highest difficulties, like that's where the highest rewards are. That's where the invasion is. Now, on the other side, if you're an invader, you don't need to worry about the nodes. You can just go to the invasion node. You need to have some death marks, which are a currency you earn by playing by just playing Lawless Frontier. You'll just accumulate them. And one interesting wrinkle here is you can actually wager those for additional rewards. So if we go to the little pane here on the side, there's these things. There's the death marks. You can interact with them two or three times to double and triple your rewards, which obviously you're taking on some risk here. If you go do an invasion and it doesn't go your way, you could lose those tokens, but I think a lot of players are going to want to do this because they can just get triple rewards on each invasion, which is really exciting.
Okay.
And on the other side, for people being invaded, you know, if you take the invader down, you're going to get more time on the clock. You're going to get some revives back, and every time.
En fait, c'est un peu du gambit dissimulé, quoi.
Extractables, which are rewards you can dunk at the end of the activity to get bonus armor, weapons. Yeah,
stellar. So let's get our invader launched in here. We'll go back to our gameplay team.
Yep.
But while we're loading in, let's talk about what is the actual like kind of approach to invasions. What are the objectives aside from seeking out guardians and destroying them?
Yeah. So as an invader, you're gonna start in the ready room, which we're gonna show in a minute here. You're gonna pick your loadout, like what's the right renegade abilities to bring in, and we've seen in playtest there's like a lot of different fun combos here. Like, are you gonna bring in the deflector shield, and then like the other team's gonna drop one, and then you're fighting on the Venn diagram of the deflector shields, or are you gonna just be a little more brute force and drop a behemoth and like kind of like, but try to be sneaky about it, and that's pretty hard to be sneaky in it.
Ah, allô. Ah non, ah, c'est pas le moment de couper le live là. Ah les gars, leur live a planté. Leur live a planté les gars. Oh non. Ah non. Et ils se sont pris un weasel. Oh le weasel. Oh non, le weasel a frappé les gars.
A few moments later.
En fait, cette version-là de l'activité, c'est un peu, c'est du gambit quoi. En fait, t'envahis les mecs. 3 véhicules différents. Donc là, il est en train d'envahir. Et du coup, il voit les mecs à travers les murs.
Preparing to throw that coin. So you can see there they clicked that right stick. And that is going to ready the ability, they then throw the ability and just drop the drop pod to get some heavy.
Mais ça va, la petite livraison de munitions. Ah ok, il les voit plus à travers les murs.
Hopping in here before the stream, we were talking about like the size of the maps and how as an invader, like the first few runs you might feel maybe a little lost because there's a lot of space to cover, but as you get more acquainted with Europa or Venus or Mars, you can find better paths to get directly to the combat, right?
Yeah, these are some of our bigger maps.
Oh, le solo ult du Seigneur.
Public spaces that we built in Destiny. And again, there's 6 of them, and like, you know, there's any number of arenas these PvE players can be in that you're going to be. So our
oh man.
Ouais, l'activité c'est pas ce que je veux le plus farm là.
Yeah, in rewards, I wanted to ask real quick too. So as you're wagering, you add more and more. Is there like a cap? Is it double the amount of rewards, or do you have?
It goes up to triple. So each additional death mark you put down is will double or triple it.
Here we go.
Try again. Here we go.
Jumping in. We're already taking a lot of damage.
Ok, donc il a pris des dégâts de zinzin le machin là. Ah, il passe pas un bon moment le mec là qui est tout seul en train d'envahir là.
Hey, we need to make sure Nate hold back a little bit, and now I think one of our gameplay folks is just like, oh, Nate, you're mine.
Deleted.
Yeah.
No, going back to rewards, the better you do as an invader, the more rewards you're going to get. So each kill, each crest you put on the scoreboard equals more rewards, and then those get multiplied.
Ok, plus de fait de kill, donc plus t'as de score, donc plus t'as meilleur loot, ouais.
So
Ok, bah ouais, mais là, le browser, il a fait qu'un kill pour l'instant. Il va avoir 0 loot. Il va recevoir une arme bleue, le mec qui envahit là, à la fin de l'activité. Oh, il en a tué un autre, je crois. Oh non. Mais non, il s'est... Non, mais non. Le mec est en train d'envahir, il va recevoir des éclats légendaires. Tu sais. Oh putain, il y a des Vex avec des vêtements.
We've gone towards update. So in the portal, in a bunch of different activities, we're going to have.
On parlait des récompenses maintenant.
That we're offering. We also have an armor refresh for a bunch of our activities. And Bjorn, I'm going to put.
Allez, fais voir un peu de loot là.
So starting with our Vanguard Ops sort of armor set. This is going to be earned through solo.
C'est du gambit, un peu oui. C'est du gambit dissimulé, oui.
Which is really exciting.
La version invasion.
It's going to be kind of like your militaristic, hey, I'm a grunt. I'm getting in there, I'm fighting the dark forces. The weapons, Bjorndal, up front, we have a new pulse rifle. What do we got?
Yeah, it's a new arc rocket frame pulse rifle.
Ça c'est des armes de l'avant-garde, ça.
Now to go with your mid-range grade. A lot of excellent perks on here. I know a lot of people love the arc perks on weapons, and now you'll have it on a rocket pulse.
Ah, quoi, c'est un... C'est un impulsion roquette, je crois.
We do have some weapons that we're not showing in this stream, so stay tuned for launch. But next up, we're going to have our Pinnacle Ops. So in our previous season, it was a kind of streetwear samurai, and this armor theme is...
Kendo.
And then we have two returning weapons.
Ok, donc des nouveaux sets d'armure.
Been pretty excited about seeing in the past. Some new perk combinations, but also is actually pretty fun.
Ok, un nouveau stuff en PvP aussi.
Sets tied to weapon foundries. So in the past, you've seen Hake, you've seen Texas is up to bat for the Crucible, and Shax is going to be handing these out.
Promis, le skin du Titan, c'est le skin du début du jeu.
Yeah, Riptide's coming back. We have a new aggressive Void hand cannon and a high-impact machine gun.
Awesome. And then, let's see, last but not least, Trials of Osiris. So
l'Osiris, y'a quoi?
A few eagle-eyed players may have seen this armor set yesterday. A little sneak preview.
Un nouveau set d'armure en Osiris, les gars. Un nouveau set.
So as you get more wins on your card, you can unlock gold or red or blue. And then we have some new weapons that are coming as well.
Et des nouvelles armes aussi.
Lightweight Void Pulse Rifle with
je sais pas trop quoi en penser, les gars. Le chasseur, il a l'air d'être correct en vrai.
Lightweight. Chef's kiss. I cannot wait. And then I believe also we have a preview of a hand cannon. Now, one of our folks on the gameplay team over here, here day by day, night by night, that these rolls are going to be a bit juiced, right?
On a un nouveau revolver d'Osiris.
A pretty juiced hand cannon. It's got perks for both PvE, PvP. It's a strand 140.
Trailer. I just realized we actually missed something with invasions. We were talking
Dire que tu as même pas la rêve du sabre noir. Ouais, je l'ai pas.
There are different saber colors, correct?
Yeah, there's.
Voilà, ils vont parler des couleurs du sabre.
Colors that I think players are going to have fun chasing down throughout the end game and maybe even in invasion.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we showed it on the screen.
C'est pas en fonction de la doctrine, les gars.
Yeah. So, okay, moving right along.
Il va falloir aller chercher les couleurs.
We're going to be covering what is going on through the end of the year. So, during the launch window, we'll have some really cool things coming around. Vanguard orders are coming in week 2. And then after that, we're going to have the Dawning returning. So this is our winter celebration, our event, inviting Guardians to hop in, play some activities, get some fun rewards, and bake cookies for their favorite vendors in our tower.
On a les skins de Noël, là?
Tom, just a really brief description for folks that may not know what the Dawning is.
Yeah, so the Dawning, you slay...
On a les skins de Noël et ils sont éteints. J'aime pas. Ah, j'aime pas. Qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait? Ah non. Ah, je sais pas. Ah non.
Or you might maybe get some bright dust from some other pursuits and get this totally cool Winter Wolf armor.
Selenium Fusion Rifle.
Ouais, on parlait des armes là, de l'événement de Noël.
Precision sidearm. And then also with this
on a un linéaire, un pistolet à roquette et un lance-grenade.
It's like covered in ice, and then as you fire, it'll slowly melt away the ice. That's cool.
Oh, perfect. All right. Oh, and sorry, I have one correction being whispered in my ear.
Faut que je recheck les skins là, parce que là.
Savings time strikes again.
Gets us every time.
Every time. Oof. All right, so with that dawning preview over, we are at the end of our show.
Et là, je croyais remettre le trailer, ouais. Bon, c'est le truc qu'on a vu au tout début du live, les gars. Mais vas-y, on se le remate pour le plaisir.
Supposed to protect the people, not rule them. The time of guardians as shepherds of humanity is over.
No.
I've been waiting so long for this. Dredge and hope.
Ah ouais, ils ont pas parlé de l'artefact, ouais.
They've shown me a vision I can't shake. New Cabal.
Oh, on aura sûrement ça dans la semaine, hein.
Sprung up out of nowhere across the system. That doesn't just happen.
C'est dans la tweet, hein. Même.
And I'm putting together a crew to
Ouais, mais c'était un rêve, je crois. C'était un cauchemar. C'était le voyageur hein, qui se faisait couper en deux là, par le rayon. Ouais. Mais je pense que c'était un cauchemar. Et comment va, Coco? Le vieux vagabond, il me fume. Moi, c'est l'image que je vois souvent sur Twitter en ce moment. C'est le vagabond avec la tête de vieux, avec la clope. Ça me termine. Pour ceux qui ont la ref.
You crave justice. Why die for a criminal?
Why do you hate your own kind so much? It's time to take the fight to the Imperium.
Le jetpack du Seigneur, les gars, vraiment, ça me fume.
Finish it. And the Imperium is yours to lead. You will fall. The next time we meet.
Only one play left.
Ah, ils sont bons, ils sont très très forts. Hein. Ah, ils sont très très forts en trailer, les bâtards. Thanks for watching. Ouais. Bon, vous êtes hypé ou pas, les gars? Est-ce que vous êtes hypé? Et comment va Bullet? La fête, lui, il a hypé de zinzin. Non? Oui sur 10? Non? Non? Oui? Moi j'ai quand même hâte en vrai. Après moi ce qui m'a hype aussi c'est le sabre laser, je vais pas vous mentir. Et le truc c'est que le sabre, bon bah apparemment c'est le truc de donjon donc ça arrive pas day one. Donc ça on va devoir attendre le 13.